Okay, so just a little quick tutorial video. I'm playing on the server, and one of the guys on the server, Bush, decided or wanted to know how to basically use lava for fuel. So, find yourself a nice large lava lake in the Nether, like this one here. And first thing is put your pump, because it's going to take a while for the tube that comes out of the pump to get down to the lava level. This tube will only come out if you place it over a liquid that can be pumped. And so you want to keep from walking over the edge here. And you can see it takes its sweet time. Now, probably the next thing, you don't have to have the redstone energy cell. You can actually place the engine straight on the pump. But this keeps the engine from freezing on its own, which will happen sometimes, and you have to come in here and manually reset it by whacking it with a wrench. But you just place your cell there, and then you're going to want a magmatic engine to power that cell with. And you got to shift click this into place. So there we go. And you're going to want to run a liquid duct from the pump to the engine. And then either on top of the pump or on that liquid duct, throw down an inner tank. And make sure that the blue arrows are pointed up. Now, it works similar as an ender chest. You get to color code the top three. You can also use a diamond to lock it so that nobody else can use it but you. Or so it'll only hook into your own network, even if the colors are the same. This is a little creative world I threw together, so don't have to worry too much about the color coding for right now. And now, you're going to have to prime the system somehow. Usually what I do is the redstone energy cell that I use has power in it, so it's automatically powering the pump, which pumps lava, throws it in the tank, throws it in the engine, and then the engine powers the cell, which powers the tank. Pretty easy. Don't have that right now, so what I'm going to do is grab myself a bucket of lava and just right click on the engine. And that'll fill up, 1/4 of the reserve inside the engine here, which actually will last for a while. But the nice thing about magmatic engines, they pump out 4 MJ per tick. Instead of, the only thing better I think is combustion engines, but these things don't blow up. They have a problem, they just lock up. So that's now pumping into the cell, which is not actually putting any power out yet because that little pipe down there hasn't quite hit the lava yet. There we go. Should be getting there. And there we go. You can see it's now filled up our tank, which, since this thing is outputting 50 MJ per tick, it's doing quite a bit of work. And it's also feeding our engine, which is now full. So that was easy enough. And now this is the complete nether setup. To make magmatic engines, it's pretty easy. Invar ingots, 2 Invar gears, and a piston, and then the redstone transmission coil. Transmission coil is a silver ingot, 2 redstone, and then let's see, gear. Invar gears are 4 Invar ingots around an iron gear, or iron ingot. And then to make Invar ingots, I usually ignore this recipe here, the induction smelter. Because, Invar blend, the only benefit of using induction smelter is you get slag. Yeah. Which, apparently that's the only recipe showing up. I know that there is a Greg Tech recipe too, that uses the his automatic alloy smelter, or the alloy smelter, which is 2 iron ingots and a ferrous ingot. You can also make Invar blend and Invar dust. Invar dust is nickel dust and either iron or pulverized iron. Iron dust or pulverized iron makes 3 of them. So you run through a macerator, you get your dust, mix together, shapeless crafting, and there's your dust. Smelt it, you get your ingots. So pretty easy, and it's actually about the only good use for nickel. Let's see. Redstone energy cells are actually pretty complicated to make. I'll go over those in a bit. Ender tanks is a cauldron, which is 7 iron. It's like upside down iron pants. Wool, and whatever color this wool is what color the top 3 will default to, but you can dye them at a later date. 4 blaze rods, an ender pearl, and 2 obsidian. Now you're going to need at least 2 of these ender tanks. Oh, yes. And so it keeps working when you're not here, trunk loader. Now, the farther you set your trunk loader to go out, is the more lava it will pump out. This tank also has a habit of, you can see it here. This used to come down from the ceiling. the tank has actually grabbed the source block from up there. Or not the tank, the pump has. So if you actually want to clear out lava falls in an area, it's also a good way to do it. Let's see, what was I on? Let's see, ender tank. Chunk loaders are actually really easy to make. It's a enchantment table, 5 gold ingots, and an ender pearl. Done. Simple enough. Pumps are pretty easy. Glass tank, which is 8 glass, shaped like a chest. Then your mining well, which is 6 iron ingots, redstone dust, iron gear, iron pickaxe. And this is the regular buildcraft, gear. So it's iron gears made out of stone gears, which are made out of wooden gears, which are made out of sticks. So simple enough there. This guy is the fun one. Well, first of all, shapeless crafting. So you need electrum, which is gold and silver mixed together. You need lead. The conductance coil, which is gold with 2 piles of redstone dust. And then you go to your energy cell frame. Is you have to fill this with liquid redstone in a liquid transposer. You get the liquid redstone by putting it into a magma crucible. So you melt it in the crucible, pump it into the transposer, then you put your empty frame in there, and once you get 1,000 millibuckets, which is like 40 piles of redstone, 40 redstone pretty much, then it'll fill it up, you get your full frame, which you could then put the housing around. To make the frame is pretty easy though. It's 4 electrum, 1 diamond, 4 hardened glass. Now this you need an induction smelter to make. But it's pulverized or obsidian dust and lead. 2 to 1, and it makes 2 hardened glass. And there's a lot of different recipes and you can use lead dust too. You don't have to use lead ingots. Let's see. I think that's pretty much everything, unless I need to. Oh, liquid ducts. Liquid ducts is hardened glass again. Copper ingots on either side of it. These things work so much better than waterproof pipes. There is no substitute. They move liquids so much faster, and yeah, there's a few other options, but we don't need those yet. But there's every reason in the game to upgrade all your waterproof pipes to these. So, well, I'm going to be back in a second once I'm on the overworld to show you what we're going to use all this for. Okay, so back in the overworld now, and these are what you can use your ender tanks for. The chunk loaders here is just to make sure that both areas are always loaded no matter where you're at, because otherwise the system will stop until both areas are loaded. But so ender tanks, if you look at the front here, it's got these 2 blue arrows, and then it's got these 2 orange arrows here. Depending on which way those are pointing is if the tank is going to accept liquid or expel it. Now, like right here, I have, your standard Railcraft iron tank, which is pretty damn expensive, which is incomplete right now, but there we go. Okay, now it's complete. And if you right-click the little wheel, it'll change. And you can see we're now pumping lava into the tank. So, and actually moves at a pretty good clip. Oh, crap, it just sped up quite a bit there, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Okay. Now, this is his iCraft tank, which I'm going to need one of these. Now, these guys are a little less efficient space-wise than the Railcraft, but you can literally make them out of almost any material. The thing that makes them special is this, blue block here, the valve. You can't have the valve in any of the corners. You can't make it out of certain substances. Any transparent blocks you can't make the tank out of, so on and so forth. Just glass viewers you can, glass you can, but like leaves, sand, and whatnot you can't. But after your tank is together, you right-click on the valve, and you get these funny blue lines that show up. And we go up here now, turn the little wheel, and there we go. Now, it doesn't have the little cool filling animation like the iron tank does, but you can see the level through the glass viewers. And you right-click anywhere on it, and here we go. See, like this one here is capacity of 2 million buckets. Same size tank is 432,000 millibuckets. So, but the thing is you can also make these tanks even bigger than the Railcraft tanks can go. So you can actually make this to like a 12 by 12 by 12 cube, and it holds some god-awful amount of liquid in there. This is the Granddaddy tank, though. I'll go ahead and click it on. This is GregTech's Quantum Tank. Holds something like 64 million units or something like that in 1 block of space. You have a lot of storage to go, and you have the resources. This is the way to go. And actually, come on, there we go. That's what the top looks like. pretty unassuming, until you right-click on it and you see how much it's holding. And it's got your standard in and outs like all these do, drop in whatever. If it's in a container, except for a bucket, the container will be destroyed. So you can't do that. Well, efficiently anyway. Now what can we use lava for? There's two main things I do. Well, three actually. I also use magmatic engines like you've seen in the nether there. But basically you hook up your inner tank to liquid ducts and thermal generators, which are, the best way to use, your lava for power. You can use it, and you can use lava cells and generators. Produces 5,000 EU. You can pump lava into a geothermal generator. Produces 20,000. Or you can pump it into a thermal generator and get 30,000 per bucket. So this is the most efficient way to do it. They are a bit of a chore to make though. Either Invar again, or aluminum ingots. Then you got your reinforced glass, which is glass with advanced alloy. And then geothermal generators and, various circuits, whatever. Regular circuits work. So, but then make the geothermal is 2 refined iron, a regular generator, 4 glass, 2 cells. So, and yeah, only wrench these things. Hell, anything Industrial Craft or Greg Tech, only wrench them. Greg has one of the later configs. There's an option to blow everything up if you don't use a wrench on it. It'll blow up whatever machine you're trying to use. Oh, while I'm talking, I'll kick this on. Blow up whatever machine you just broke using the wrong tool. And then it'll send a cascade down any power lines attached to it, blowing up every machine on the way and setting things on fire. Now, it takes a while, but once you get, I think it's 16 lava stills in here. Actually, I'll just go to the recipe. It's a lot quicker that way. But yeah, you can, see, you got your lava cans, electrum, copper, tin, and tungsten dust. And let's see, go through, methane, which I'll do a video on how to power your base with pigs later. Where's it at? Come on, 97 pages, where the hell? Oh, there you go. There you go, page 44. Now, just 16 lava stills, which is, basically like dumping a bucket of lava into here. Gives you 4 copper, 1 electrum, 2 tin, and a tiny pile of tungsten dust. Takes 500 seconds per go, though. But if you just, set this to pumping in here, put a chunk loader next to it, and then I just have your standard, odd audit gates and wooden pipes. Energy pulser when there's no redstone signal, so it's always running. Pumping it all into this chest. You can literally just leave this thing go for, especially with one of these chests, a couple days easy per, one of these. And you won't fill the chest up, but you will end up with stacks and stacks of copper and tin. Makes it a lot easier to get that stuff. And actually, I was running an experiment earlier. Yeah, I forgot to hook it up to power. But yeah. So, and you can actually pump lava in, top, bottom, any of the sides. It doesn't matter. That's what this is about. Oh yeah. So, liquid ducts. Okay. So you see how if you right click on here with a wrench, it changes from solid to it's got the little down arrow? Well, actually I'm going to click that off. I'm going to toss in my bucket of lava here. Okay. I now have 1,000 units of liquid in the quantum tank. Let's see if it's solid. This is, solid is to pump liquid into that block. So, no matter what you do, you can't extract liquid from the tank unless it's like this, or it's an ender tank, because ender tanks override which, direction this is facing. But, click it to the down arrow, and then apply a redstone pulse, or redstone to it, and it'll automatically draw out without pumps, gates, anything, whatever's in that tank. And you can see here, now it's at 64. So, that's one of the better reasons to use it. You can speed things up, trim it down quite a bit by just using liquid ducts. And let's see. Yep. And you can see that this tank is already full. And this one is up to 800 buckets pretty much. So it's really easy to do a whole lot of lava storage really quickly if you get a good sized lake. This one's up to 600 buckets and climbing. Then we got, the generators, which are each holding 10 and constantly being refilled, so you never have to worry about them. Each of these is holding 64 buckets while running through a cycle. Each one of these tanks is holding 16. So yeah, that pump by itself, one pump, can do an amazing amount. Now, if you're in a real hurry and you have like 2 or 3s to fill up, you can hook up the pumps in sequence around that redstone, cell, and just drain that lake in a couple of hours at most. But I think that's about it. Any questions? Leave them in the comments. I'll take care of them in the next video.